Hey everyone, I made a video on this about a year ago, but there were some things in there that weren't clear and concise, so I wanted to make a video to clear that up. So, to get cannons and mortars in the Old Realms mod of Bannerlord, which is what we're in today, first and foremost, you have to be in the service of an elector count, okay? So if I go over, wrong one. If I go over here, I'm in service of Elector Countess Emanuelle von Leibowitz, okay? She is the Elector Count that rules over the city of Nuln, which is the city where you will get your cannons and mortars, and, you know, she also rules over the surrounding areas. Now, I went into service with her because in this game there are numerous elector counts and they are constantly at war with one another. If you want to get cannons quickly and easily, obviously get into service with her, because that way you don't have to worry about if you get into service with another elector account like Marius Leitdorf or one of those guys, they may be at war with her, and if you didn't pay attention to that ahead of time, then you get into service with somebody and you realize they're at war with Nuln, and you can't get access to the gunnery. So we're in service with her. We're going to come up here. We're going to talk to Petrusch, the master engineer. Okay. Tell him why we're here. He's going to go through the dialogue. They don't really trust us because it's proprietary, essentially, technology, and they don't want that to get out, right? But he will give you a quest to basically build your reputation with it, okay? So we gotta get out of here and go find these people and try to get his stuff back. And there will be an icon that pops up. There it is right there. Very busy map, very large map, but that's who we're looking for. Now in this case, I want to be sure I've got the ability to teleport. So we go over here. You know how this works. There's not a lot of diplomacy at this point. We just beat these guys. Then we'll go back to Nuln. Talk to our old buddy Petrusch. We didn't get his parts, but we found the guys. So he says, okay, we need to go after Goswin. You tell him you want the same deal. So we're basically now going to do another quest for him. Okay, there's Goswin's party. Okay, same thing. Go back, talk to Petrusch one more time. And now we have his undying friendship, right? But we go to buy equipment, and all he's going to sell us is handguns and long rifles. Well, I've already got a long rifle that's better than what he's selling, because you can buy this stuff in the various markets around the area. So what the heck's the deal? Where's the good stuff? Oh, it's not that simple, right? He wants more stuff. He wants us to give him 500 prestige. Now, I don't have that much prestige, and for those of you who've played this, you understand that accumulating prestige, at least at this point, is a bit of a grind. because I am clan tier 2, so I'm still early in the game. Which goes back to, you have to be at least clan tier 1 to get in service with an elector count, because you're basically a mercenary, right? So you do have to play a bit. You can't just get cannons first rattle out of the box. So in order to get prestige, we're going to go to a guy who can hook us up. So we'll go back up here to Altdorf. As a human player, this is kind of your starting area anyway. We want to go to the keep, bribe our way in. We want to talk to the connected noble. This is our fixer. He's the palm greaser. Make up your own jokes. So we go through the dialogue, and he can get us in prestige, but we've got to give him something in return. And there are a number of ways you can do this. You can work with these organizations. That this top item, if you've got a demogryph, he will trade you a demogryph for, I think it was 1,000 prestige. At this point in the game, it's hard to get a demogryph. Keep that in mind for later in the game as you're needing prestige to maybe upgrade an army if you've had a disaster and a veteran army's been destroyed. So what we'll do, we'll invest in infrastructure, because I've played this before and I know that I needed to accumulate money. So, you know, with smithing you can accumulate a ton of money. I've got like 1.1 million gold, but that's about to disappear. So we're going to give him 500,000 to construct a new dry dock. What that does, that gives us 1,000 prestige. We're going to need 1,500 total when we get back to Petrusch to unlock cannons. So there's 1,000. Find another one of these projects. What's that one? Okay, it's another 1,000. So I should have 2,000 prestige at this point to go back to Petrusch to get the unlock on these cannons and mortars. Yes, 2,000 right there. Go back, talk to Petrusch. Alright. Selection needs something to be desired, leaves something to be desired. I give him 500. Go buy equipment. Still no cannons, but I do get access to the best long guns in the game. That long rifle is ridiculous. It is sick. So we go back. Where's the good stuff? Tap it again. Want to buy equipment. Okay, that only unlocks mortars, but that's okay. Be sure and lock these, because what I've done in the past, didn't lock them and then went to vendor stuff and sold my cannons. That's very frustrating. Nothing worse than getting on a battlefield trying to drop them and they're not there. Okay. Go through this again, another 500 prestige. Now we want to buy equipment. Now we've got great cannons. Fantastic. Okay. Now, we need engineers to make these work. We can buy engineers or recruit engineers from him, but he wants 340 for 2. I don't think so. Way too expensive. I'm pretty sure we can get a better deal in town recruiting them. Alright, let's see. Iron Company apprentice. I don't know that an apprentice engineer is going to be able to fire those cannons. I think it's just the artillery crew. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So let's go and get novice engineers and artillery crew trainees, because here's the deal, we need 2 of these guys per gun. Okay, I'll get a couple of those guys, because these guys can carry basically hand cannons that shoot grenades, but you're basically going to need 2 gunners per gun to make the guns work. Now, you're also going to need an engineer in your party that has more than 50 points as an engineer. Okay, you'll see I'm currently the engineer, but I've only got 10 points. I had hired Erasmus, and you hire these engineers, these engineer characters, through the tavern system, like you do your fighters and all of that. So he's got 74 engineering. I can drop one gun, one cannon or one mortar in a battle. If he had 100, I could drop, two, one of each, or, two of the same kind. So we've got that. We'll see if we can come over here and find somebody to fight. Okay. We'll attack these poor gore and ungore guys here.
We will trample your puny body beneath our hooves.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is going to be ugly for those guys. Now, your artillery gunners are going to be a part of your infantry group, okay? So when you drop a gun, the engineers come out of the infantry. Well, that's my range. They're with your infantry. They're going to come out of your infantry formation. So you want to drop your gun close to your infantry formation so the engineers don't run very far. Now in this case, I am fairly certain that the gores and ungores are going to run away from me. So if I drop my cannon here, they will run out of the range of it and I won't get the benefit of it. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to go to them. Then once they set up, then I'll drop the gun. If it's an enemy that's going to come to you, you want to drop it quick. And again, you want to have your character close to your infantry and then drop your guns right in front of your infantry and they'll start shooting immediately. And you'll see this as we get to wherever we're going to set our guns up. You also want to have line of sight for the cannons and not have an intervening hill between you and the enemy, because the AI is not real smart. It will try to shoot through the hill and you'll waste your shot. Mortars, that's where mortars excel, shooting over objects, but their range is a lot shorter. So we'll go ahead and start this fight. Get everybody to start moving. Now, your artillery troops are the only ones that are going to act as gunners. Your party engineer, the character engineer that you've hired, will never get on that gun, will never shoot that gun, will never interact with it in any way. That person's sole purpose is to dictate how many guns you can place in a given firefight. Okay, so it looks like they're going to set up there. We're going to hit Q, which is our special ability. In this case, I'm going to place a mortar to lob it over that hilltop. You see those guys coming out of my infantry formation.
Move out! Get moving! Face the enemy!
I don't even know that we're hitting those guys. There we go. We're hitting the top of the hill behind them. Now, at this point, you do not want to send your infantry forward because your artillery guys will keep shooting and kill your infantry. You want to tell your infantry to stop shooting and then charge in, because, again, it's not intuitive. They will wind up shooting your own troops. So, hope that helps. If it did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the routine. If you got questions, let me know. I'll do what I can to answer. Thanks a lot.